We have done a 5-day silent meditation retreat at Hridaya and want to share a bit about it. One little spoiler, Benyi wanted to leave after day 3, but yeah, more to that. And he was really pissed about that I signed him up. Can you imagine Benyi pissed? He was pissed.
The first time I was pissed at Kevin in my life. Alright, we start with the expectations.
Yes, so I have already done a silent meditation last year. It was 10 days and it was really tough, but all in all I never felt so good afterwards. So there was a lot of clarity and I felt a lot of gratefulness and was just feeling myself more and felt more connected and could appreciate beauty more.
It was also the same place, right?
It's the same place, no, in France. So it's really beautiful, the location. So Hridaya has actually 3 locations. So their headquarter, I think, is in Mexico, Mizunte. That's Spanish way of pronouncing it.
You speak them all, the languages.
And then they have another one in Albania. I don't know how to do that. And where we've been was in France, in Lyon, and it's really beautiful, situated, located on a hill. Everything is green.
So yeah, my expectations. Honestly, I really didn't know what to expect because I haven't done it before. I know that you told me about it and you were like super hyped, and also another friend of mine was telling me about it, and both of you said like it was so transformational. So I thought, yeah, why not? But I've never meditated more than 10 or 15 minutes before, unlike in one go, and definitely no silence for 5 days. That was a stretch. So I had a lot of respect, I would say, when I went in, but I was also a bit curious, and I was thinking that probably after these 5 days I would feel something, or it would be good, like you said.
What it actually was like.
So as many times, Kevin just signed me up for this experience, so I wasn't really aware of what this was all about. So, and I also didn't really check, to be fair. So we went there and we arrived, and then I said to Kevin, hey, I'm super looking forward to this. We will have so much time, because when we went before to Barcelona, we had a lot of social time, and so I was actually a bit happy that we had a bit more
Benny
leisure time, let's say, for ourselves. And then I told Kevin, hey, I want to do a lot of sports here. I'm already looking forward for this time for myself. And then you were saying...
That was like, bro, you won't have time for that. Did you look at the schedule?
I was like, which schedule, man?
Which schedule?
Which schedule? And yeah, then I saw the schedule and I was like, bro, where the fuck did you sign me up, man?
Where's the sport time?
Where's the break? Where's
the me time? Yeah. Okay, should I walk them through the schedule?
Please.
Okay, so we got woken up at 6:30 by the gong. Then at 7 we started then with our 2-hour meditation that was broken down into 1-hour sessions with a 5-minute pee break. Then from 9 till 10 we had then breakfast in silence. Then from 10 to 11:30 there was then a lecture from our guide, and she taught us different things about meditation philosophy, techniques, spiritual traditions. The whole theme about the Hridaya retreat was finding the love within, and that guided the whole retreat. So back to the schedule. At 11:30 to 12:30 there was then the Hatha yoga session, then another meditation session, and then there was finally the lunch break.
But we also most of the times actually went over schedule, to be honest.
So we had less lunch break. But in the lunch break, there was after the lunch was some free time for about 2 hours. And that's where you could then do leisure time. That's where Benny could do some sports or journaling. Then there was another 2-hour meditation session followed by dinner. and then after dinner there was a Q&A session where we could then write questions and so on. Like we could write during the day questions to the facilitator, and then they would read them out, and there was still at the end another meditation session before going to bed.
So I will introduce some of the rules. No eye contact with no one. No talking.
How did that go?
That was super weird, man, because I mean everyone kind of tried then to avoid each other, right? And then we were in one room, you know, and then when you were passing each other for like going to the restroom or whatever, it was always so fucking weird because you kind of like, yeah, I'm mad. That's where it started to be mad at Kevin, you know. So yeah, that was actually more difficult than the not talking, right?
Yeah.
So the no talking, I thought would be more difficult, but after day one, it was actually quite pleasant.
Yeah, if everybody is just like silent, there's no need to talk. It's really okay.
Yeah. Then no gestures also, so no signs of forms of communications. No phone, like you said. So we had like 5 days, no internet. No
Digital detox.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. Pretty nice. No sex.
Or self-love.
That was probably for you the
No.
most difficult.
No, it said like no masturbation. You forgot that.
But it was for you. It was the most difficult part. And then no reading, no podcast, no music, no input.
No input.
The only thing we were allowed to do was journaling.
All right. So it was not only about meditation and silence, being silent, but also we learned a lot. No? Like every day there was a lecture, as already said. So daily lectures about different practices, concepts, traditions. So we also learned many things. Well, I think what was the most practical were the different types of meditation we learned.
Yeah, and we will share some of them with you, or what we kind of learned.
Mm-hmm.
And for me personally, I thought it was pretty cool that not one, like, okay, Buddhism, but she really also cited a lot of like different religions and practices from different
it was super.
directions.
I mean, it is religious, you know, but it's really interesting to see all the religions at some point they're talking about the same things, and because of the focus of this retreat was cultivating love, they always like put these practices out where these religions were talking about love. Yeah, that was really really cool to see, like from Buddhism to Christianity, Islam, and so on.
Well, the first one we learned about, I think, was the 7 forms of love from the ancient Greek philosophy. So what I remember is, most of the time when we think about love, it's always about the romantic type of love. But actually, so the Greek, they define 7 forms of love. So for example, one is eros, the romantic, the erotic love. But then there's other forms of love. So for example, ludus is like this playful, flirtatious love. Then there's storge, love for your family. There's philia, like deep friendship. Then agape.
It's like the altruistic love.
It's the altruistic love, right? And then pragma is the long-term, enduring love. So when you're like with a partner for a very, very long time, then maybe this eros is not as present anymore, but it changed to a different type of love. And I think pragma is actually the one that you want to reach in a relationship. Anyway, and then there's also philautia, which is self-love.
Utia. Philia utia.
Philautia. Yeah, when you think about love, that there's different forms, and maybe you lack one form of love, but that doesn't mean that you don't laugh anymore, or you don't have love in your life, right?
Yeah, and I think I also noted it down. That was super good to know. It helps because like something that you learn is like love is all around us and love is within, basically. So having the feeling that there's no love can be really a bummer. But then it's nice to see that there are many other ways to feel this kind of really, really strong and important emotions. Pono is like a Hawaiian traditional Hawaiian meditation, starting with I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And basically what you do, you think about, like there are different levels of what you can think. You can start with yourself, like thinking about yourself and like go through these 4 steps. But also then somebody you like, somebody you don't like, and while doing this, you really develop this kind of sense of compassion, and that's the whole reason about it. You want to develop a sense of compassion, and it also can really help to forgive somebody.
Yeah, right. I thought it was a great tool to. Yeah, if you have anger in your memories, or you have situations where you cannot forgive someone, you can use this practice to go back. And then, like you said, I think the 4 stages were first yourself, then someone you like, then someone neutral, and then someone you don't like. And you repeat over and over again this, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And what it helps you to do is to actually forgive and release these negative emotions you have.
Yeah. I had some problems with it because, like if you say, like you don't see yourself in any fault and say, I'm sorry and like thank you, and there's really no reason to thank this person maybe, and please forgive me, why should this person forgive me? That these, like there are also really like deep, I would say traumatic experiences that people have, and then they try to practice that. So the example that she was giving was like one of the participants is that she did this for two like robbers, or like people who wanted to rob her mother and do worse things maybe also with her, and then I think it's super difficult to say this. And what helped here is that you try to find also, like you take responsibility, like you try many things in this world, there's also, you have a part in it, like be it, I don't know, that just your presence, that triggers somebody. Some things for maybe you cannot even do anything, but taking responsibility is also helping you to get a bit more distance to that. And then, as Benny said, with this rephrasing and formulating it, you at some point you really can let go at some point and feel this part from compassion, like meet them. What stuck in my head is like when she said like you need to meet them where they are, like if you think about this person and you had the same upbringing, the same experiences, you were the same person, you probably would have behaved exactly the same way as this person.
Yes.
That helped me.
That also stuck with me a lot. And if you think about it, it's already in the past, and it's your memory from that situation, right? And then taking responsibility for that kind of, and forgiving that person helps you to release those negative emotions. It sounds really abstract and maybe crazy, but it works. There was one more thing, this metta, I think, was pretty interesting.
Metta meditation.
So metta is, it's also a saying that you repeat in your head. It's like, may I be happy, may I be well, may I be safe, may I be peaceful and at ease. And then you do this the same way, like with someone you love, with someone that is neutral to you, and then someone who is you don't like. But it sounds simple, but it's supposed to open up your heart and be more compassionate towards people. So I had the question, or in this Q&A, you could write some things, and then My question was because he or she does something wrong and then you are just super pissed at this person, but you don't even know this person, right? You have that situation and then you can do this and then you will start, like, it's also again in this altruistic direction, like that you are more compassionate and understanding for everyone. Like you said, if you had the same path, you would maybe behave the same way.
Yeah.
And this meta meditation helps to be
I have a good example.
Okay.
Okay, and it's not related to you, Benny. Maybe. But during the Shavasana, like I swear like 5 people were instantly snoring. Like they said, okay, now lay down, and they like and I'm like, what the fuck? Like they don't even try, and I got so irritated because of course I cannot like calm down if they like snoring immediately. Like they didn't even try. So I get the first 2 days
There's nothing to do with me.
I got so pissed. And then I tried this meditation, and I was thinking, okay, they probably don't want to snore, you know. I also know that snoring is unhealthy. So I would like I feel a bit sorry even for them. So if I could, I would like to help them. So to not snore, like so they're healthy and they feel better and more energized, and that helped me again, like to be a bit less pissed.
Yeah.
Then there's also the Tonglen, where you try to. It's easier. You breathe in pain, suffering, whatever, and try to breathe out. Relieve the pain, warmth, and whatever. And like also with this, thinking about a person or even a community, like or even people that are suffering right now. Yeah, compassion is a really beautiful feeling, and trying to cultivate it can make your life better.
I'm always a bit skeptic, I have to say, about these things, you know, and also, you know, all of this spiritual stuff. I'm a bit like hesitant or sometimes even like blocking them, I would say, because it's sometimes just too much, you know. The teacher, she was super, super, super nice, but at the same time, it was almost like she was too nice. Like I thought in the beginning.
Something wrong here.
And then she was talking about all of these like meditation and the spiritual stuff and the religions, and I was like, wow, this maybe it's one level too much, you know, like. And as I said before, I've never done more than 10 minutes meditation. So you sit there and then your back starts hurting. I had to like put like 3-4 pillows on my below my ass. So then it hurt. And then if you do this, if you have never done this, then this monkey mind starts try to distract you all the time. Like, why are you here? Why are you doing this? This is not you. This goes on, and then you try, right? You try, and some of the meditations, then you actually got super deep. I remember I wrote so many things down that also you had.
Maybe you can read something out.
I will read some things out later. But I just wanted also to say, like before I read the funny things out, that there were actually a lot of meditations where I got very deep, you know, like there were memories from my childhood, for example, that I haven't remembered actually that I had them, or I came really close to more like to understanding who I am, you know. There was the repeating pattern to think about who you are. And for me, it was that I understood, okay, I had this really, really happy childhood, and my dad and my parents, I was so grateful for them. I think this really much made me the happy person I am because of that experience. Yeah, so you got basically very deep in those sessions sometimes, and other times it was like super distracting.
Yeah, I mean, this time it was easier for me than the last time. The last time my mind was running also very wild, and like I even couldn't breathe anymore because I don't know why. And this time it was definitely easier. I got also most meditations quite deep, and so one of the goals I had when I started this kind of silent meditations was to feel my heart more and feel emotions a bit more, because I noticed that many of the emotions are more like values, you know, like if you feel that somebody is hurt or something, or like had a bad day, then out of like manners or value, you know, okay, now you should feel sad, and then you're like, oh, I'm sorry. But there was not much emotion with, like, there was not much feeling with this, oh, I'm feeling sad, you know? And
So every time you pretend when I'm sad to say.
I mean, it's, you know, like, I'm not a lot of, like, feeling this emotion, you know? And so I wanted, because I noticed that the whole life is emotions, basically. Life without emotions is no life. So I wanted to develop that more. And I think I got closer. Yeah, I felt this compassion and this warmth and love. Yeah, similar to when we did this meditation. It was like also about family, especially about these, when you think of the Ho'oponopono or these gratefulness practices, where you think about your childhood and how cool everything was. I had also like a super nice childhood with the best grandparents there are, and like a super loving mother, and like so many cool experiences and friends and so on, where I just have like laughter in my head and like smiling faces, and even my cat, you know, like I think my cat, like animals, they're really underrated. There's so much. When I thought about my cat and how much the cat loved me, Gizmo, by the way.
Gizmo.
Yeah, there was so much love, you know, like this cat looked at me and like sat on me, and there was so much love, and this feeling, like this helped me to feel this again.
But I have the same here. I wrote down here some of the happiest moments in my life, and then I have 2-page list here. So for example, I even have here the surf camp with you and Fabi and Jens. Then I have when we went to the board game fair. Then the wedding of Chris in Niederbavaria, and then soccer game, and so many strong emotions that you could open up because of these meditations. That was the part. So there was a lot of meditations for me. Now coming back to my experience, where I got super deep. And of course, if you have 7 hours a day to think about things, then you should hopefully think about something. But I also had this, you know, like my inner, the monkey mind, or there was some barrier where I thought too much. I hate this schedule. I don't want to wake up.
And then it's interesting to go in there. Why is that?
Yeah, why is that?
Next time.
I don't know, like, but I also realized in my past jobs that I really have this like adherence to this guy tells me something to do. I don't want to do it. Like, I wrote things down, and it compounded day by day, you know, like where I thought, no, I don't want to now have only 3 hours of or 2 hours of leisure time. Yeah. I want to run. I want to I want to do my sports. I need to. Yeah. So I wrote down, for example, too many lectures, almost no time for like me time, schedule, not enough me time, it's almost feels rushed, and then there's like an artificial seriousness of this place, not looking into the eyes. Feels a bit like a graveyard, you know, because people, they were all standing and looking into the nature like completely crazy people, you know, like everyone was a bit sad, or it seemed a bit sad, you know, concentrated more. And then I was like, it's a fucking day, man, it's like a beautiful weather outside, and you're in these rooms and you have your eyes closed, you know? Like half of the days you're meditating and you have your eyes closed. Why? Why? This is so sad. And then I was even like I think I wrote down somewhere, I have to be more conscious about my time with Kevin. Because I always say yes to these things. And I have to, like, it's 5 days, you know, it's 5 days of my life. And then
He skipped the lesson.
I skipped the lesson. And before, already in the other sessions, I almost fell asleep in one session. And then I got this letter, you know, like from the co-instructor, and she was writing down, please sit in that position as I told you, to not to sleep. And then when I skipped the session, I was telling her on the paper, I need some me time, I will skip the session. And then she
I will skip the session.
I felt so good to skip the session. And then I came back and then she gave me like this letter and the letter was like, I hope you enjoyed the me time, it's super important, but please don't try to skip it.
But don't do it again.
And I was like, okay, fuck it, just one more day. But I did it, and at the end, my experience actually was that I never felt so conscious in my life. You know, like the things when you eat, for example. Normally you eat, but you have other thoughts. But there, I just ate, and it was so intense, the taste, and then you like consciously eating, and you were walking. And I saw a lot of like insects, for example, that I would have never seen, like beautiful big
mice,
beautiful mice. I saw, and I saw so many animals that I would have never seen.
The nature looks beautiful, no?
It's just beautiful. It was super lovely, actually. And then we were singing together, and I felt super much at peace. Yeah.
I like had my whole ranting part, the first time when I did it. So this time I was actually what I will take from this, like from the last time, is you really need to be gentle with yourself. You know, like you just like, okay, if it's today, if it doesn't work, if the monkey mind is running, then it's like this. You just need to be more gentle, and then if you do less resistance, then it's actually becoming easier. You know. That's what I learned. I mean, I also had like many notes. They're primarily like trying to share my experiences that I had. But in general, I would say, I on the one side I noticed that the whole forgiveness part, especially the beginning, it's still really difficult for me. You know, it's not easy to forgive, but at some point I noticed that I could, even for people where I would say it's really difficult for me to forgive them, there was something falling off from me, you know?
So you became more compassionate.
Yeah, I think that these practices really help to be more compassionate and more understanding. And
you were so happy at the end when we broke the silence, you know?
Yes.
He was like trying to talk to everyone.
It's such a nice feeling, you know, like when everybody's breaking the silence at the same time, like 1, 2, 3, and it was such a, in general.
It was so beautiful, like this moment, and it sounds a bit like feminine, but it was so beautiful, like everyone, then we sing, right? We sing this prayer and it's crazy. You don't never take the time to actually be present, or you don't even know how to get there.
But that's a good point you said, like if you once know how it can be, you don't want to go back to the old state. Like, okay, this is beautiful, I want to like stay like this.
Yes.
You want to also show the people what you draw?
Yeah, but we were not allowed to draw.
Yeah, again, rebel.
Broke the rules.
Again, rebel.
Alright, Hridaya 5 days silent retreat, grown-ups rating. So we start with a spirituality rating. What would you give?
I would give it a 4 out of 5.
4
Yes.
only?
Only 4.
Why?
Because I think there's still some way to go.
There's more spiritual stuff.
There's more spiritual stuff out there.
Okay, for me that was at the border of my spiritual limit, so I would give it a 4.5. But if you are the expert in the spiritual stuff, right? So we can go with a 4 or 5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
Then the overall growth rating, or the growth potential rating.
5. 5. I give it a 5. 5 of 5.
Yes.
Growth. That's growth, I can tell you.
That's real growth.
Yeah.
For me, it's also 5.
A 5?
A 5.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Before he said something else.
It's a 5. No, I also said 5. Because, that feeling before and after, it's game changer. And it's the state where you see, like, what you have seen that you cannot unsee.
once the door is open, the door is open.
But what is the growth for you?
I think I would say this is our default state. So like, no social media, no comparison with anybody, just like appreciating the moment, and also being present, being grateful for that you're alive, that you're breathing, that you are in beautiful nature, whatever, that you have a body, you have people that you like. So like all of this comes together and you feel it. This is the moment you are aware, and when you.
All right, so the overall experience, I give it a 4. You?
4.5?
Oh, for me it's because of the schedule. I think if you would have a different, I would have liked it a bit like without the schedule, that it's not so strict, and with the 7 hours of meditation, and that you have more free time. But yeah, I mean, it was an amazing experience. So yeah, you would give it a 5, right? So
I would give it a 5.
Okay, then we say 4.5.
Okay.
We are happy if you like the video, if you leave us a like, a comment, or an idea what we should try next. And we, from our side, we
will give our best that you're entertained and you get the most out of these videos. We will do our very best.
Ciao, let's grow. See you in the next one.